This is lesson 11.1, perimeter and area of rectangles, squares, parallelograms, and triangles. We are looking at rectangles, squares, and parallelograms all together because basically it's the same formula because they're all parallelograms. So for a rectangle, we have, this is our base, and then these make right angles, and so this is our height. And to find our area, we just need to multiply. Area is equal to base times height. And for squares, of course, we make a right angle here, and our base and our height will actually be the same for a square, but we still just multiply them. Area is equal to base times height, again. And for a parallelogram, we need to be careful that we're actually picking the correct height. The height has to be a right angle, because what's happening is that when you take this parallelogram and you take this side right here and you cut it off, you can move it over to the other side, it just makes a rectangle. So the height has to be perpendicular. The height has to be perpendicular. Your bases are parallel and your bases are also congruent. So for any parallelogram, the area is equal to base times height, and the base and the height are perpendicular. So perimeter, you guys know, hopefully, or remember. If not, perimeter, you add up all the sides. So add up all the sides to find the perimeter. And for the area of any parallelogram, you'll multiply the base times the height. So we want to find perimeter and area. So in a parallelogram, remember the opposite sides are congruent. So for this, for the perimeter, we have 20 plus 32 plus 20 plus 32. And that gives us a perimeter of 104 inches. But we also have to find the height. And so when I go back and look at this, sometimes the height is given and sometimes it is not. And in this one, it is not. So the height has to be this, because it's got to be perpendicular. I know this is 20. So in order to find it, I notice that this is a right triangle, and I have two sides. So to find the third side of a right triangle, I need to do the Pythagorean theorem. So 20 is my hypotenuse, so I need to go 20 squared minus 12 squared will give me my height squared. Finding that, 20 minus 144, so 20 squared is 400. Minus 144 gives me 256. And then to find the height, take the square root. And so your height is equal to 16. Find the area. It equals base times height. My base length, the whole length, not part of it, is 32. My height is 16. So multiply 32 times 16, and it gives me an area of 512 square inches. Remember, for perimeter, you add up all the sides. It has to be complete sides, so don't use this 12 on this one. And for the area, you need to multiply base and height together to find the area in any parallelogram. So let's try this again. I need the perimeter in this parallelogram. I need to figure out the whole side, so that's 27 and 17. Remember, opposite sides are congruent. I need to add each of them up twice. And I get my perimeter is equal to 88 meters when I add that up. That's perimeter. Area, I need to multiply base times height. And I know my base is 27. My height is not given on this one. So my base is 27. To find my height, I need to do the Pythagorean theorem because it's a right triangle. So I'm going to go 17 squared, because that's my hypotenuse, minus 8 squared is equal to h squared. That's 225 is equal to h squared. Take the square root, and h is equal to 15. 27 times 15 for my area equals 405 square meters. Now sometimes you will be given a piece of information. For example, I'm given the perimeter is 48, and I need to find the height. So that means this is x, and this is x, and this side is 12. So I'm going to go 12 plus 12 plus 2 x's, one for each side, equals 48. I need to solve that. So 48 minus 12 is equal to 24. So 2x equals 24. All I did is I subtracted the 12, each of those 12s to the other side, and then dividing by 2, I get x is equal to 12. So my height is also 12. Sometimes we're just given expressions for our sides, and we need to find the perimeter in the area. So again, opposite sides have the same value. Just because it's an expression doesn't change that. So for my perimeter, I still need to add up all the sides. I have a 2x plus x plus 1 plus a 2x, I'm working my way around, plus an x plus 1. And solving that, I combine all of my like terms. So all of my x's, that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6x plus 1, 2. And that's my perimeter as an expression. And that's fine. You don't need to do anything crazy on that. Just add them up, combine your like terms. To find area, we can just multiply our expressions. So area is equal to the base times the height. So x plus 1 times a 2x. And I need to distribute into that. So I have a 2x squared plus 2x. Next thing we're just realizing, and hopefully this is kind of obvious, but if two figures are congruent, then the area are congruent as well. So congruent figures, congruent area, or the areas are equal. So area of a triangle now. So we just did parallelograms, which includes rectangles and squares, and for those you just multiply the base times the height. For an area of a triangle, we need to say it's 1/2 base times height. And you will have a quiz just over knowing the formula for all the area shapes. So far we have parallelograms, and now we have triangles. And again, in a triangle, the base and the height have to be perpendicular. And so what that means is sometimes your height, if it is an obtuse triangle, if this is your base, then your height will be outside of your triangle over here because it makes a right angle. And that's fine. The two sides, two parts that make a right angle are your base and your height. So looking at these two problems, identify the base and the height. So the area equation for a triangle is area equals 1/2 base times height. You have to have a right angle, and then it's the two that make a right angle together. So 1/2 of 12 times 9 equals 54. And then again down here on the bottom, it's a triangle. So it's 1/2 base times height. 1/2, we're looking for that right angle. I know those are the two sides I want. So I have 16 times 12, which equals 96. Again, we can find missing parts. If I know the area is 12, I know it's a triangle. So area equals 1/2 base times height. The area is 12. I know my base is 6. And then my height is what I'm looking for. So h. 1/2 of 6 is 3. And then I need to divide by the 3. And I get my height is equal to 4. That's my answer. Now if we want to find the area of a triangle, and we're given expressions, we still just fill in. Go 1/2 your base, which is an 8x, and the height x plus 2. This will give me a 4x times x plus 2. Notice I only put it into the first parentheses. Do not distribute that into multiple parenthesis groups. The half only ever goes into one parenthesis, because then it'll go into the other one. This is a 4x squared plus 8x. And that's my area equation as an expression. You would stop there.